It's New Hampshire Today with Jack Heath. Heard here on News Radio 610 and 96.7, your news, traffic, and weather station.
Yep. All right. Welcome back. I'm just trying to keep track of the train here. The political train is moving fast on this Monday on New Hampshire Today. Asking Jen coming out of the break, is that Gary Lambert? Yes, former state senator. He's a candidate in the 2nd Congressional District. Mr. Lambert, it's been a busy Monday. Good morning. I know you're busy up until tomorrow's vote and through the day. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jack. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Boy, they've had a lot of analysis and a lot of the live candidates on this morning, and it's coming down to the wire for you. And you're one of those races that the people watching this, at least on the analytics side, seem to think will be a close race, namely between you and Mary Linda Garcia. But we had Jim Lawrence on earlier, Representative Lawrence, saying he may benefit from what has been a kind of a feisty back and forth with you and Mary Linda Garcia. But your thoughts going into tomorrow?
First, going into tomorrow is we feel great. We've been talking to our supporters. It's all about get out the vote. We've been working hard now for over a year on this race, and we feel good. I'm out here at Rockingham Park right now talking to the folks out here. Of course, the folks in Salem are very upset with Representative Garcia, so we spent the morning talking to folks in diners and making sure they get out the vote, and then we're going to work our way west. And probably end the day somewhere out in Brookline House, maybe even in Concord.
Well, I think what you just said was an indirect way to bring up the expanded gambling debate. Am I correct?
Well, I've always been about constituent services, and the folks out here, no matter who you talk to, are very upset about her deciding vote against expanded gaming in Salem. I mean, they wanted it. The voters spoke. 82% of the folks out here voted for expanded gaming, and she didn't listen to him. So.
Well, since you brought up that issue, arguably one of you, if you win the nomination and defeat Ann Custer, I don't think that's a vote you'd have in Washington. So is that just sort of last-minute ways to bring up an issue that you think is contentious?
No, actually, it doesn't really have anything to do with gaming. I think it has everything to do with listening to your constituents and going down to Washington, D.C. to represent what your constituents believe in and what they want you to do. So I think that's the thing. And it's about jobs. Out here, everybody's, it's not really the expanded gaming, it's the loss of jobs that the lack of expanded gaming did.
I have to say, and I know you've been working hard and you've been very accessible, and we appreciate you coming on as often as you have on New Hampshire Today. And if you do well tomorrow, I'd love to have you on Wednesday. But I have to say, I had Dan Innes on early and Frank Ginta. And while their advertising may be kind of critical, they've been rather civil. And even the Scott Brown, Jim Rubens, Bob Smith race, they've been critical, at least Rubens and Smith against Mr. Brown, but they've been rather cordial. I have been surprised, Mr. Lambert, at the contentiousness of you and Mary Linda Garcia, the two of you. And I don't know who's more the aggressor, but does it surprise you?
Well, look, I'm running a issue-based campaign. I really am. And I talk about being civil, Jack. I'm the one that reached out my hand to her at that debate. So, I've been very civil in this race. What I am doing, and I think I'm doing very well, is highlighting the differences between us, especially when it comes to immigration and amnesty and securing the border. So, I'm doing that. I'm remaining civil throughout the entire thing. Like I say, my hand is always outreached. In fact, as I've even said after the debate, anytime she wants to shake my hand, I'll meet her anywhere in the district, and I'll be happy to extend my hand again. So I'm being totally civil.
On the handshake thing, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, when I asked Mary Linda Garcia the other day about that after the debate, because that seemed to be the newsworthy thing from it on the lack of a handshake there, she actually said that if you believe everything you've criticized her for to be true, if she's successful Tuesday, she wouldn't even welcome your support. That's how strongly she felt about some of the attacks.
That's right. Well, you know what? And the opposite is true with me. I'll support her if she's the nominee. I'll vote for her as the nominee. And that is not what she is saying. As you heard during the debate, she will basically not support me. She indicated she would not lend that support. And that's unfortunate. We've got to come together as a party, whoever is the nominee tomorrow, and we've got to be strong because we've got to defeat Annie Custer. We've got to defeat her.
All right, Gary Lambert, I know you'll be working up through tomorrow in terms of the primary vote. We appreciate you joining us here on New Hampshire Today.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you.
Bye now.
Well, Jen, I feel like we've had a debate here this morning.
It's been a busy morning. Whew.
Well, and you know what? I want to say this because it's a team here, and you've done a phenomenal job in the last week or two getting as many of these candidates on live, and I really, really appreciate it. More importantly, I think our listeners appreciate it because where news talk really works, no disrespect to television or the print stuff or the web, is the 8 or 10 second sound bites. You know, you're able to hear the candidates, you're able to get into their mind a little bit and their hearts a little bit, and on the longer format where you can get into some beef. And I think not only our debates, and we'll have a full series of debates in the general election, whoever is successful tomorrow, these one-on-one interviews, and I've been doing this a while, where we can get the candidates on like this morning, a half dozen or more. That's what this is all about, and I think it's a big part of New Hampshire today. So thank you to you, JW. And
you're welcome.
Just to show you how much you've arrived, one of the campaigns earlier when I put you on the spot as a co-host, a news talk personality, not the station, and you went through the list, one of the campaigns was quick to jump on Facebook and say that WGIR had projected. And the truth is we have not projected any. We don't. I was asked over the weekend to endorse a candidate. I appreciate it. I was humbled, but I said I'd just rather stay back and not get involved, do the interviews, let the people make the choices, and you were expressing an opinion on who you thought. I'm not making predictions on any of these races. I've been around too long, and I think a lot of experts in the NFL would have predicted yesterday that the New England Patriots would have a very easy time of it, or maybe a win for sure in Miami, and the final was 33-20. Miami Dolphins kicked the Patriots' butts.
You know what, but real quickly, just to ease your mind, I want to let you know that hockey is right around the corner, Jack, so you have something good to look forward to.
It's funny you say that because when that game was getting near an end and I just could see this getting going south, I said, the Bruins may blow it once in a while, but they never look that ineffective out there, even when they lose. How the Patriots can't get a first down or the offensive line can't stop these guys, and Brady was on his back more than whatever, and just they have all the talent. That was a very badly played and coached game yesterday. It was awful, and I'll just get it out of the way. Maybe the only good thing was the first game of the season. All right, join us tomorrow. We're going to have some more primary stuff, but we'll have our regular segments, and Wednesday we're going to have a packed, expanded roundtable looking at the primary results. So all that is New Hampshire today, and enjoy the beautiful, beautiful weather out there, and even a full harvest moon. Maybe it will cause some interesting things to happen tomorrow. Have a good one.